We might be paying more to head up to the Dells or Door County this summer, but that's not putting on the brakes on vacation plans.
And the cost of parking in Madison neighborhoods is going to cost more if a new plan is approved by city leaders.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News 3 This Morning. It is Wednesday, June 13th. A lot nicer out this morning than it was yesterday.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The sunrise looks really nice.
Yeah, and you can even feel the difference. When we came in at 2 o'clock this morning, it was very muggy, but it feels much better outside right now. Take a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. Finally, some significant sun in the forecast today. We had kind of a cloudy, muggy day yesterday. Today should feel much more comfortable. On the radar map, a few showers earlier, but they really fell apart as they moved into south central Wisconsin. No risk for rain yet today. We're looking at dry conditions. Temperatures have actually fallen a degree here in Madison. We're down to 67, 64 in the Dells, and 61 in Camp Douglas. Dew points, though, are lower, and that really tells the story. We have a beautiful day ahead with highs right around 80. Plenty of sunshine through the afternoon. Here's a look at your first alert traffic this morning. We'll see what's happening on the roads in and around Madison. Pretty quiet on the Beltline right now. There are some slowdowns on Stoughton Road, though, south of the Beltline, heading toward McFarland. Otherwise, no accidents to report right now, so you're still going at posted speeds heading into Madison. And that's your first alert traffic.
People on the interstate got to slow down.
I saw that, 63.
It's back down to...
It's 55, right?
That's what it is now, yeah.
Be safe, slow down.
There you go. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
So speaking of driving, Wisconsin is waking up to the cheapest gas we've seen in about a month.
AAA, though, says it's still a lot more expensive than it was last summer. We're talking like 50 cents more per gallon expensive. Leah Lynchide's here to share the Travel Club's summer forecast, what you can expect when you fill up over the next couple of months. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning. Good news for Wisconsin. It's the first time in a month that we're not seeing $3 gas in the state. The average right around $2.87 this morning. Here in Madison, we're not seeing a huge difference day to day, at least not this week, but we're still seeing lower than the state average, currently paying around $2.80 a gallon. Still, though, AAA reports folks here in Wisconsin and in Minnesota and Iowa, too, are paying around $65 more for gas this summer compared to last. How much can you expect to spend all summer? AAA says around $250 for the average consumer. Still, though, that doesn't seem to be changing vacation plans too much. Only about a third of folks in a AAA survey said they'd switch up their travel plans if gas prices hit $3 again.
Leah Lynchide reporting from the studio. Thanks, Leah. So trips on Madison's paratransit system have declined by 22% compared to last year. That's according to the latest numbers that will be shared with the city's Transit and Parking Commission tonight. Paratransit provides transportation for people living with special needs who can't use traditional public transportation. Madison Metro is preparing to lose $4 million in federal funding for that program, so the city is considering significant changes. That includes making riders pay cash each time they board instead of using pre-purchased tickets and eliminating door-to-door service.
The same commission will get an update on the Monroe Street construction that's limiting traffic to one lane. If they ask me, I'd tell them it's been miserable. $20+ million projects repaving the city, one of the city's busiest streets, replacing old sewer and water main systems there. Crews are about 3 months into this road work, hope to have everything finished by the middle of November. Until then, no traffic is going to be allowed to go west on Monroe, away from the UW campus and downtown. Businesses along that stretch continue to be worried about losing money as there is no parking for customers.
Those commission members are also set to approve spending $10,000 to make sure people can get home safely from their New Year's Eve celebrations. That money could be reimbursed by a sponsorship, but the city wants to make sure Madison Metro bus rides will be covered that night if a company doesn't offer to pay. The commission meets tonight at 5 o'clock at the City County building.
We have a first alert traffic note. If you're driving in downtown Madison this morning, the west side of the West Dayton and North Broome Street intersection is closing at 7 o'clock this morning. This is right by the Overture Center garage. Crews are going to be doing underground electrical work there for the next 3 weeks. The overall North Broome Street project is expected to be done in mid-July.
So that's a little bit of a mess downtown, and the demand for parking downtown and near campus is higher than ever. The city says it needs more money to enforce its parking rules. That
means the permits that allow people to park on the street longer than the posted time limit could soon cost 50% more than it does right now. Our Christina Laurie's live along the Vilas-Greenbush neighborhood border this morning with an explanation why. Good morning, Christina.
Adam and Danica, those fees could go up by a total of $14 per year from $28 to $42. That's because the parking utility is now footing the bill for enforcement rather than the police department. The Transit and Parking Commission will vote at their meeting tonight on the price hike. City officials say it's needed to cover the cost of enforcement on top of rising administrative costs. In all, the program is going to cost the parking utility $540,000 a year. To fully foot that tab, they'd have to charge $108 a year for permits. If you're wondering why the city doesn't just increase parking fines to pay for everything, Alders say that's because revenue from tickets goes into the general fund and not the parking utility. Now, if the new fees are approved at tonight's meeting, they'll go into effect in the new permit year, which is September 1st, not January 1st.
You know, I think I'd rather pay more in the residential parking permit than I would in tickets, because you're going to end up, those tickets are expensive. All right, Christina Laurie reporting live for us this morning. Thank you.
6:05 right now, and stores across Wisconsin are still trying to figure out what they can actually legally sell under the state's new law on CBD oil. Some prosecutors are actually starting to come down on shops they say are not following the rules.
So CBD oil is legal, but you do have to have a prescription. This is relatively new. It was in April of 2017. Governor Walker signed a bill legalizing the use of CBD oil without THC. THC is the component of marijuana that actually gets you high. The law said the CBD oil had to be distributed by a doctor or a pharmacy under a special FDA drug permit. Now, Racine County's District Attorney Tricia Hansen says the issue has gotten confusing, and she's encouraging police officers to be aware of the needed permitting for these projects.
So I'm not here for enforcement just yet. What I'm looking for is cooperation from retailers to get these items off the shelves.
Her investigation started when officers found a Racine liquor store was selling CBD gummies. That store has since pulled those gummies after receiving a warning from the DA. Now, a group of patients in Racine County tell our Milwaukee partners they are still buying items without their doctor's approval. They say they know it's illegal, but they're trying to get relief from seizures and other pain-related issues.
The debate continues.
Yes, 6:07 almost right now. On this Wednesday morning, Wall Street's watching an expected short-term interest rate hike that's coming later today. It would be the 5th increase in the last couple of years. There are a couple more planned through 2018. Josh Freiter's here next with what that means for consumers.
We are looking at the best day of the week weather-wise, for sure, hands down. Hattie says there's a change coming, though, in the next few days that's leading to some alert days in the forecast. She's here next on News 3 this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. A beautiful start to our Wednesday morning. Earlier we had clouds, but those clouds are clearing pretty quickly this morning, and we have very comfortable conditions settling in. Take a look at our high temperatures yesterday across the area. 79 was the high in Madison, 81 in Minneapolis. Now, while those numbers aren't that high, it felt a lot warmer with the humidity. Take a look, though, through the Central Plains and the midsection of the country. We had temperatures in the 80s and 90s. That heat has been building for the last couple of days, and it is going to move into southern Wisconsin as we head towards the end of the week. For that reason, we've issued alert days in the forecast on Saturday and Sunday. Both days are alert days due to the high heat and humidity. Each day, heat index values will be flirting with 100 degrees during the afternoon. Now, here's a live look at Doppler track this morning, and as a front pushes out into Lake Michigan, you'll see a lot of rain to the north, but really those showers, isolated showers at best, falling apart as they headed into southern Wisconsin. So no risk for rain for the rest of the day today. A live look from the WISC-TV studio. The sun is up, skies are clearing as well, so we're seeing that sun here in the backyard weather patio. No real issues with visibility this morning. The fog is following the front and tracking to the south and east. Now, our temperatures are still in the 60s, but it is feeling less humid outside. Dew points are dropping. We've dropped from a dew point of 65 down to 61 here in Madison. Dew points are in the 50s now in our northwestern viewing areas, so it's feeling much more comfortable outside. And that dew point trend is downward through the day today, back into the low 50s, so it'll feel very nice this afternoon. Future Track is doing a great job at forecasting the clouds today. It quickly takes the clouds out of the area, and that is already happening. For the rest of the day, we have mostly sunny skies. Temperatures back in the mid-70s by lunchtime, climbing to highs right around 80 degrees this afternoon. It is a little breezy outside right now, but I think as we head into the afternoon, those winds will diminish as well. If you have evening plans, the weather is not going to impact them at all. It's perfect, dropping into the 60s by 10 p.m. with mostly clear skies. Now, overnight tonight, temperatures will drop back into the 50s, so it should be a pretty comfortable night across all of southern Wisconsin. 81 then for the high tomorrow with sunshine and low humidity. Humidity returns to the area on Friday, and there will be chances for rain, especially late Thursday into Friday morning. The weekend right now looks dry, but it is going to be very hot and humid with highs well into the 90s. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, starting off the morning commute, moving well so far on the Beltline. No problem showing up yet in either direction. Looking at other roads here in Dane County, the usual brake lights are popping up on Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline, along with on the northbound side of Rona Road near the Highway PD intersection. So far, no delays downtown around the Capitol and UW campus. Volume is not an issue yet. Other main routes heading into the city are cruising along at the usual speeds right now with no crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. We have some breaking news to let you know about this morning. The world's most popular sporting event is coming to North America. We have learned within the last 15 minutes that the U.S., Canada, and Mexico won the rights to host the 2026 World Cup. Games will be held in all three countries. Now, the U.S. hasn't hosted a World Cup since '94. Mexico hasn't had the games for more than 30 years, and Canada has never hosted World Cup matches. Roughly 3 billion people are set to watch at least one game from this summer's World Cup taking place in Russia. They'll have the details coming up after 7 on CBS This Morning.
In business news this morning, Land's End stock opens up 27% after the Dodgeville company released its quarterly earnings report. That report showed online sales for the company up 20%. And the company announced it was going to be closing stores within Sears locations, opening up their own locations in the next 6 months. Before yesterday, Land's End shares had already gone up 20% since January and nearly 50% over the last 12 months.
Small businesses from across the country, including some from here in Wisconsin, will get the chance to make a potentially life-changing pitch today. Walmart is giving more than 450 businesses and entrepreneurs an opportunity to convince them to put their products on the retail giant's shelves. That includes 8 businesses based here in the Badger State. Representatives from those companies will be at the Walmart headquarters in Arkansas today as part of the open call. Getting products on Walmart's shelves can be a huge boost for business. An estimated 270 million people visit Walmart stores across the world every week.
There's a job fair in Rock County later today as unemployment in that area continues to go down. Unemployment rates statewide right now are at an all-time low of 2.8%. In April, those are the last statistics available. 45 of the state's 72 counties beat or tied their lowest unemployment rates on record. Rock County, meanwhile, had the second highest drop in the number of people who were out of work. The latest numbers in Rock County show unemployment there at 2.8% compared to 3.7% at this time last year in Rock County. The Rock County Job Center is hosting that job fair we were talking about from 1 to 4 this afternoon at its headquarters in Janesville. It features 50 employers, 1,200 job openings. For more information, you can check out jobcenterofwisconsin.com/events. All right, 6:15 right now. For the 6th time since 2015, Federal Reserve is expected to announce a short-term interest rate hike at its news conference later today.
Financial experts say our debt is costing us more, but our savings aren't exactly keeping up. And Josh Sprider talked with an expert in our area about what we should all be doing to remedy that and save some money. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Adam and Danica. If you're looking at making a major purchase soon, like a new home or car, you may want to do so right now. The Fed is expected to announce a quarter-point interest rate hike to 1.75% to 2%. Officials say the federal funds rate is the most important interest rate in the world. It determines the interest rate that banks charge one another. Finance experts say it doesn't have a direct relationship on the interest rates that we pay, but it has an indirect one. It affects the prime rate, and that's what affects us as borrowers. Mark Farnham with Retirement Income Planning has advice for consumers.
If they're going to buy a new car, they should do so now before interest rates go up. If they want to take out a mortgage loan or a home equity loan, they should do those before interest rates go up, although usually home equity loans are tied to increasing variable rates, whereas a home mortgage loan wouldn't be if it's fixed. And of course, your credit card rates are going up, so spend less, pay off those credit cards.
Farnan says if you can receive an offer for 0 interest on a credit card for 12 months or 18 months, take advantage of it. Farnan also tells me the biggest thing you can do as a consumer is educate yourself. His financial office and others are more than willing to answer any questions you may have. Of course, you can find all of these details and any updates made today in this story on channel3000.com.
It's bad news if you're buying something. Not so bad, though, if you're saving something. Those interest rates are going up as well. All right, Josh Sprider, thank you.
I am practicing my wave this morning because the Miss Wisconsin pageant starts tonight in Oshkosh, and it will be the last time the contestants take part in a famous part of that competition. We'll share why here in a couple minutes.
And it's not nearly as sticky out today as it was yesterday. The humidity is not as bad for sure. We're looking at a pretty nice day overall. Hattie's updating your forecast next on News 3 this morning.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. A very pleasant start to this Wednesday morning. We have sunshine and cooler conditions. The polar bear was taking a swim, just got out of the pool right before we came back on camera. Great day to be at the zoo today. It won't be as humid as it was yesterday. Take a look at temperatures right now. 67 degrees here in Madison, 65 in Boscobel, down into the 50s though in the northern half of the state. So very comfortable conditions on the way. Dew points really tell the story. Dew point of 67 still in Milwaukee, 61 here in Madison, 52 in La Crosse. Those lower numbers mean it'll feel much cooler today. Here's a look at our satellite and radar trends. Things are very quiet across southern Wisconsin. Northwesterly winds will keep things comfortable today. They will die down for the afternoon. Our forecast has sunshine today with a high of 80 degrees. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Hattie. There's a new park opening in Whitewater today that looks like it's got some potential. See what I did there? Yeah, I tried. These are some pictures from the original Bark Park from the park's Facebook page. That space, as you can see here, was having some flooding issues. So the Parks Department has relocated that dog area. The new location is on the northwest corner of Jefferson Street and Starrin Road. It's going to have upgraded facilities like new park benches for the pet owners, cleanup stations, and a designated spot for smaller dogs. The grand opening is tonight at 5 with some free giveaways.
Preliminary events start tonight in Oshkosh for the final Miss Wisconsin competition where contestants will wear swimsuits. The Miss America competition overall canceled that portion of the event going forward to decrease the emphasis on a woman's outer appearance. The Miss Wisconsin organization says the groundbreaking change shows a desire to redefine beauty and shift the focus to talent, artistic expression, and future aspirations. The preliminaries start tonight at 7. The top 11 contestants move on to the final competition Saturday night. 6:23 right now. Two of the most famous Wisconsin Badger basketball players are in a Twitter fight this morning over politics.
Leah Linscheid shares the Bronson-Koenig-Sam Decker feud that now includes hundreds of other people online as well when News 3 This Morning continues.
There is something for both political parties. That's the takeaway from Wisconsin's 2 special elections. Coming up, we'll look at how it might impact this fall.
And a man accused of not calling for help when another man overdosed will not face criminal charges. We'll update you on that case.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. Now 6:27 almost on this Wednesday, June 13th.
Best news of the day has come from Hattie McLean. Yeah. She is outside on the Hattie-O patio this morning with a special guest joining her. Good morning, kiddo.
Good morning. Yeah, it's not just me on the patio this morning. I have my friend Eleanor with me, and she's our meteorologist for a day. She's going to Eagle School next year, and she won the chance to be the meteorologist today on Channel 3. So welcome, Eleanor. Thanks for being here. Are you excited?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start first with the weather. Eleanor wanted to show you the polar bear camera. The polar bear, we'll see if the polar bear is out this morning. Did get out of the water earlier, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't there.
Might be hungry.
She might be hungry. Do you see the polar bear anywhere?
No.
No. She might be eating breakfast this morning. So let's move on since the polar bear is not there anymore. Here's a look at what are we looking at right now?
The temperatures, the current temperatures.
Yeah, current temperatures. And what is it right now in Madison?
It's 67 degrees.
That's right, 67. And were you saying, did it feel a little chilly here in the backyard weather patio?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because it's a little breezy right now. But, Eleanor, do you think it's going to be cold later on today?
No.
Definitely not. What's our high temperature for the day today?
80 degrees at 4 p.m.
That's right, at 4 o'clock, 80 is the high. So it's going to be a beautiful day today. Wonderful job, Eleanor. Now let's take a look at traffic, though. We'll show people what's happening as they head to work. You came in from the Cross Plains area this morning. Did you run into any traffic?
No.
No, probably the earliest you've ever been up this morning. This is a early start time for you, but no issues on the Beltline or in downtown Madison. No accidents to report right now, which is wonderful news. So your drive times into Madison still looking normal for this time of the day.
Thank you, Hattie. Thank you, Eleanor. We'll check back with both of you in a little bit. We start the news this half hour at the state capitol, where both political parties are claiming victories in Tuesday's special election. In the Lodi area, Republican John Plummer beat Democrat Ann Groves Lloyd for an open seat in the state assembly. Now, Governor Walker had appointed the Republican representative in that district to a job in his administration. That's why the spot was open. Republicans now hold a 64-35 majority in that legislative chamber. Both of those candidates are registered to run again for the seat in November. In the Green Bay area, Democrat Caleb Frostman beat Andre Jacques for an open seat in the state Senate. This is a district President Trump won by 18 percentage points in 2016. It's the Democrats' second straight Senate win. It narrows the Republican majority to 18-15. We have full election results and reaction on channel3000.com.
6:29 right now. A man now faces a dozen felony charges after prosecutors say his actions led to a deadly crash that killed a Milwaukee officer. Court records indicate Liddell William Harrison was driving away from police at nearly 100 miles per hour when the squad car of 23-year-old Charles Irvine Jr. crashed on Thursday night. Prosecutors say he was driving with a revoked license and had a gun. They also say his 5-year-old son was in the car at the time. Irvine Jr. is the first Milwaukee police officer to die in the line of duty since 1996. His funeral is set to take place Saturday afternoon at a church in Brookfield. A New Mexico man suspected in the overdose death in Rock County that we've been talking about will not be facing charges. The district attorney determined that there is not enough evidence to charge Corey Sandoval in the drug-related death of Dustin Grice. Grice was found dead behind Townview Elementary School in Beloit back in May from what police say was likely an overdose. Beloit police arrested Sandoval for not getting any help, which they say could have saved Grice's life. They continue to look for evidence this morning.
A number of parents and a former teacher are raising concerns about what's going on at a Madison middle school. That teacher posted a blog claiming a large number of staff and students are leaving Sherman Middle School because of the principal's approach reportedly led to unruly students and overworked teachers. The school district sent out a statement to parents at Sherman asking for feedback and support. We've posted that full statement over on channel3000.com. Our reporters reached out to the district directly for more information on the number of teachers and students who have left. We have not received an answer yet as of this morning.
About a week after launching the first ever direct flight from Madison to San Francisco, Dane County's Airport Commission will meet to talk about what's next. The group is set to recommend special approval for the airport's marketing and communications director to leave the country. Any travel out of the country must be approved by the full county board, since the costs would have to come out of the airport's budget. The International Airports Council meets this November in Ottawa, Canada. That conference has the potential to connect staff at Dane County Regional to airport representatives from all over the world. Speaking of airports, Southern Wisconsin Regional in Janesville is preparing to open a restaurant there for the first time in years. The Janesville Gazette reports ahead of its big warplane fly-in show next month, the airport will open up Bessie's Diner. The 1950s themed restaurant will have a breakfast and lunch menu, as well as information about aviation history. The diner is named after Bessie Raish. Now, Bessie was a Beloit native who is credited with being the first woman to fly an airplane on her own. This restaurant space has been vacant since 2013. Officials hope it will be up and running by mid-July.
Madison's Public Safety Review Committee meets later today to talk about a proposed ordinance to allow police officers to ticket drone operators who break the law. Right now, the city cannot write tickets to drone users who are primarily regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration. Alder Shiva Badar-Seeloff, Marcia Rummel want that to change to give Madison police officers the authority to give tickets up to $500 for those who use their drones unsafely. A local biotech company is getting some help to open up its new building. Fitchburg City Council is creating a tax incremental financing district, or TIF district, to help Promega Corporation expand. State Journal reports that company wants to build a new 270,000 square foot research and development facility next to its campus that's off East Sherrill Parkway near Fish Hatchery Road. It would cost $190 million. Under that TIF district, the company could save around $15 million in taxes. Construction is set to start this summer, should be finished in 2020. 6:33 right now. Former Wisconsin Badger Bronson Koenig is getting attention on Twitter this morning for something completely unrelated to basketball.
His comments about, quote, white culture have been trending overnight, and to at least one of his old teammates responding pretty critically. Our Leah Linshine joins us now with what he's saying and how others are responding. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning. Yeah, this has lots of folks talking on Twitter today, including, like you said, Koenig's old teammates. Now, here's the tweet in question. It shares an article called "White People Have No Culture." Koenig adding in his tweet, quote, "Sad but true." Now, it's got plenty of replies, both in favor and against, one of the latter coming from his old teammate, former Badger Sam Decker. Here's his tweet reading, quote, "Don't put it in my face that being a white guy is something I'm supposed to be ashamed of. You're Native American, but also white, BK." Now, Koenig did not respond to that, although he did tweet back at other folks. Koenig, no stranger to speaking out on topics he believes in. 2 years ago, you might remember, he visited North Dakota to join protests against an oil pipeline proposed to run through sacred Native American land. We want to know what you think about this. Join the conversation. Tweet us about what you think about Koenig's comments and how folks are reacting. We'll share your thoughts on our website, channel3000.com. But yeah, a lot of chat on Twitter today about this particular issue, folks.
Most certainly. That team has always been, thank you, Leah, that team has always been so vocal about social issues, from Nigel Hayes to now Bronson Koenig.
I actually asked the question this morning. I hadn't seen the conversation, and I said, you know, has Nigel Hayes chimed in, because he has been very vocal.
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll
Maybe
see.
later.
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting. 6:35, almost your time, and residential parking rates in Madison are set to go up 50%. Christina Laurie will share the latest in the morning sprint.
And the construction on I-90 is causing lots of traffic issues. Now it's causing some financial problems for a Janesville restaurant. We'll have an update on one that's closing down as a result. Welcome back to the program. 6:38 right now, the time of the morning we always ask you to share a little bit of your morning with us. And Nicholas posted this on our Facebook page. It's allergy season. A lot of people sneezing. Our colleague Mike here held in a sneeze for like 2 minutes yesterday as we were in the middle of a segment. Thank you, Nicholas, for sending that in. Take a picture, please. Put it on our Facebook page or on Twitter with the hashtag MyNews3Morning. Danica and I show off our favorites every morning right here on the program. In business news this morning, a Janesville restaurant is closing as sales have gone down during the Interstate I-3990 expansion project. Quaker Steak and Lube owner Scott Acker told the Janesville Gazette the restaurant closed down permanently after already struggling sales got worse during this construction. The work has diverted northbound traffic to I-90 southbound side through Janesville and away from the Burger and Wing spot on the city's northeast side. Its Middleton location will remain open. Some better news for a Madison bookstore that is keeping its doors open this summer as new owners take over. The Isthmus reports this morning that employees at A Room of One's Own on West Gorham Street, right off the State Street there, will take over next month. The current owners are getting ready to retire, and they've been looking for someone to take over the space. The bookstore has been a Madison staple now for 41 years. The Rock County music community is celebrating the life of Crawford Gates, the longtime conductor of the Beloit Janesville Symphony Orchestra. Died over the weekend at his home in Salt Lake City, Utah. Gates led the BJSO from 1963 to 1999, 36 years. The orchestra will dedicate its upcoming concerts on July 3rd and 4th and feature some of his music. Crawford Gates was 96 years old. The best news of the day comes from the News 3 Weather Center. Hattie is rocking it today. A great forecast with sunny skies, temperatures in the low 80s, not much humidity. She is sharing the compliments this morning with Eleanor, our 8-year-old meteorologist for the day. Their first alert forecast is up next. First, though, it's June 13th. We want to say happy 3rd birthday to Kaylin. Ooh, surprised. So surprised. And the other kids out there turning 3 today, thanks so much for watching News 3 this morning.
at a very sunny WISC Skycam. The best news of the morning is coming from Hattie and Eleanor. We will get to them in just a moment. First, though, it's day 2 of this week's training camp for the Packers up in Green Bay. And at that training camp, they're debuting a virtual reality experience called Lambeau Field Live. That exhibit will be traveling throughout the state with former Packers to help mark the franchise's 100th anniversary. The first stop will be at Summerfest in a few weeks before heading to the EAA Air Venture in Oshkosh and then the Taste of Madison on Labor Day weekend.
6:44 right now. Let's turn it over to Hattie and her meteorologist for the day, friend, 8-year-old Eleanor. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. You want to say hi to Adam?
Hi.
All right. Well, Eleanor, here's the clicker. I'm going to hand it over to you. You're in control now. Can you work it with that brace on your hand?
Yeah.
Is okay? Your hand is feeling okay today? That was an injury from school, right?
No.
Not from school. What were you doing?
I was playing 500, and me and my brother were both going for the ball, and he dived at my hand.
Oh, it was your brother's fault. Oh, boy.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. All right. Well, that was very nice. Look what's behind you right now. What do you see behind you? Oh. Who's swimming?
Cute. The polar bear.
The polar bear. Yeah, the polar bear's headed for a swim this morning. It's not a bad morning to take a swim, don't you think? All right, well, let's show them what the weather's going to be like today. Remember that button that you're going to push on the remote? There you go. All right, you want to tell everyone what the current temperatures are?
In Madison, it's 67 degrees.
Perfect. She's even pointing the right way. Any other cities you want to mention on the map?
In Wisconsin, Dells, it's 64 degrees.
Very cool. It's a little different. What people don't know is that what Eleanor's looking at is like a reverse mirror, so it's pretty tricky to point at the right spot on the map. Well, hit that button again. What do we have coming up next?
The wind is coming from northwest,
right? Yeah, and what is our wind speed here in Madison?
Here.
That's right.
It is 15 degrees. I mean, not 15 degrees.
No, not degrees. We're talking
15 miles per hour.
You're right. We're talking about wind. So it's a little breezy right now, but Eleanor, it's not going to be windy this afternoon, is it? It's going to be pretty nice. Hit that button, see what's coming up next. Ooh, what is the forecast for this afternoon, Eleanor? Come this way. There you go.
The high is 80 degrees, and it's mostly sunny and less humid.
That's right. Hit that button again. What do we have coming up next? Ooh, Eleanor wanted to talk about the weekend. What's it going to be like this weekend?
It's going to be very hot in the 90s.
And what do you have coming up this weekend? Hit the button.
I have the Epic Picnic.
The Epic Family Picnic. Now, what do you think for that picnic? Is this good picnic weather or maybe a little too hot?
A little hot.
A little hot. Hopefully they have lots of water at that picnic. What's it going to be like, the high temperature? Come this way, Woods. Look at that
90
screen.
degrees.
Yeah, 90, but what's it going to feel like this weekend?
95 to 100.
Yeah, that's pretty warm for the picnic, so hopefully things are okay. All right, we'll hit this next button over here to advance us a little bit. And now we can talk about the extended forecast. Let's move out of the way a little bit so people can see that there will be alert days in the forecast this weekend. We are looking at 90 to 94 degrees. All right, let's head back to the desk, Eleanor. We'll talk to Adam and Danica. Hit that button, hit this button one more time. We'll get to our 10-day forecast. There we go. Temperatures do cool down a little bit more this weekend. After the weekend, we're back into the 80s. There, have a seat right next to Adam. And we have one more graphic. Hit the button one more time. This play button right here.
This is the fun graphic.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
It's my dog.
Oh, what's your dog's name?
Samson.
Samson. He looks very comfortable, Eleanor.
He does. He said, "You looking at me?" If you take Samson for a walk today, what's the temperature?
It's like 77 degrees.
77 degrees at 3. Perfect for a walk.
Great
well, you
job,
did an
Eleanor.
excellent job doing the weather. I'm a little nervous for my job right now.
She's
You
only
can take
8.
over.
She can't get a work permit just yet.
That's true. We're safe. Well, thanks for coming and helping me do
Yeah.
the weather today, Eleanor.
You're welcome.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. The morning sprint's coming up next right here on News 3 This Morning. 6:51 time now for the morning sprint. Hattie says it's going to be a terrific day weather-wise. Josh Spreiter is explaining what an interest rate hike later today could mean for consumers.
And Christina Laurie's live in Madison with an update on another possible hit to your wallet, increasing parking permit fees. But we start at the state capitol, where both political parties are claiming victories in Tuesday's special election. We start in the Lodi area, where Republican John Plummer beat Democrat Ann Groves-Lloyd for an open seat in the state assembly. Republicans now hold a 64-35 majority in that legislative chamber. Both of those candidates are registered to run again for the seat in November.
Then in the Green Bay area, Democrat Caleb Frostman beat Andre Jacques for an open seat in the state Senate. This is a district President Trump won by 18 percentage points back in 2016. It's the Democrats' second straight Senate win, and it narrows the Republican majority to 18-15. We'll have full election results and reaction up on channel3000.com.
Right now, the Federal Reserve is finishing its two-day monthly meeting, and the central bank is expected to raise short-term interest rates from 1.75 to 2%. It would be the sixth time the Fed has raised the key interest rate since 2015. This will negatively impact consumers, especially those who currently are carrying a lot of debt. The hike would cost people with credit card debt an extra $1.6 billion this year, $1.6 million for Madison residents. Financial experts say if you're looking at making a major purchase soon, like a new home or a car, you may want to do so right now. They also say pay down that credit card debt. Of course, you can look for updates to this story today at channel3000.com.
Thank you, Josh. Just in this morning, the world's most popular sporting event is coming to North America in 2026. World Cup matches will be held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico that year. Roughly 3 billion people from around the world are set to watch at least one game from this summer's World Cup taking place in Russia. They'll have more details after 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Wisconsin's waking up to the cheapest gas we've paid in about a month, but it's still going to cost more than it did last year, some 50 cents more per gallon at least than it did last year. AAA reports people in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa overall will pay around $65 more for gas this summer compared to last summer. The organization projects the average consumer will spend around $250 filling up their tanks this summer.
Madison's Transit and Parking Commission will meet later today to discuss raising rates for residential street parking. They'd raise those rates by 50% from $28 to $42. The permits allow people to park their cars on the street for longer than the 1 or 2 hour posted time limits. The city says the increase is necessary to help cover the cost of enforcing parking rules. But some residents are still not on board. City officials say if more than half of the people living on a street submit a request to the city, they can opt out of the permit system.
And our forecast today starts with some sunshine. A beautiful view thanks to the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville this morning. Green grass, blue sky. Perfect start to this Wednesday. It is 65 in Platteville this morning, 67 in Lone Rock, and here in Madison. A nice warm up with lower humidity today. That's the key. High temperatures will be right around 80 degrees with that northwesterly wind keeping things pleasant this afternoon.
Hattie, thank you. A man now faces a dozen felony charges after prosecutors say his actions led to a deadly crash that killed a Milwaukee officer. Liddell Harrison is accused of driving nearly 100 miles an hour when a squad car crashed and rolled several times Thursday night. That car was chasing Harrison at the time. Now, prosecutors say Harrison was driving with a revoked license and had a gun. They also say his 5-year-old son was in the car at the time. 23-year-old Charles Irvine Jr. was killed in that crash. He is the first Milwaukee officer to die in the line of duty since 1996. His funeral is set for Saturday.
A New Mexico man who was suspected in his role in an overdose death in Rock County is not going to be facing any criminal charges. The DA determined that there was not enough evidence to charge Corey Sandoval in the drug-related death of Dustin Grice. Grice was found dead behind Tyonview Elementary School in May from what police say was likely an overdose. Beloit police arrested Sandoval originally for not getting any help that they thought could have saved Grice's life.
More than 550 small businesses from across the country, including 8 from here in Wisconsin, will get the chance to convince Walmart to put their products on the retail giant's shelves. Now, those items could be seen and bought by the estimated 270 million people who visit Walmart stores across the world every week.
Madison's Public Safety Review Committee meets later today to talk about a proposed ordinance to allow the police to ticket drone operators who break the law. Right now, the city can't write tickets to drone users who are primarily regulated by the federal government. Alder Shiva Badar Seeloff, Marsha Rummel want that to change to give officers the authority to give tickets up to $500 for those who fly their drones unsafely.
Madison's Transit and Parking Commission set to approve spending $10,000 to make sure people get home safely from their New Year's Eve celebrations. That money could be reimbursed via sponsorship, but the city wants to make sure Madison Metro bus rides will be covered that night if a company does not offer to pay. The commission meets tonight at 5 at the City County building.
6:56 right now. Let's get a final check on our first alert traffic this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Well, just a heads up, starting at 7 o'clock this morning, parts of West Dayton will be closed at North Broome Street for some electrical work to be done. I would plan on delays, at least for the next few weeks in that area. And brake lights already showing up on the westbound Beltline, slowing down between Stoughton Road and John Nolan with a 5-minute delay. Inbound John Nolan, you're getting busier as well on and off the brakes between Rimrock and Olin Avenue. That's going to add a couple minutes heading into the downtown area. And other main routes, including on the interstate, you're cruising along at the posted speeds right now with no crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
And it's a sunglasses kind of morning this morning across southern Wisconsin. Any clouds that we have cleared the area rather quickly early today. Polar bear's been out already. I'm not sure where she is right now.
But disappeared.
She's been out swimming early this morning. Sunshine today. Great pool weather with high of 80 degrees. You'll definitely notice a decrease in the humidity. Keep in mind, though, that the humidity returns for the weekend. Alert days are in effect.
Let's just soak it in today. My goodness.
It's going to be hot over
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even looking there.
And a big thanks to Eleanor this morning
Just
for helping
enjoy
me out.
today. Have a wonderful day outside. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.